What's going on, guys? Today I'll be showing you how to fully 100% complete Dornberg in Grand Mountain Adventure 2. I'll be showing you every double diamond, every trial, every ski pass, every transition, and how to gap and conquer every lift. Right now in the background, I'm showing you a full 100% completed map with every ski pass, every event, all of that stuff. I'm trying to go very slow so you all can see where everything is. If there's anything that's like hidden, like this ski pass here, it's not very easy to see. I'm going to zoom in and click on it. And feel free to pause this part anytime you need to compare with your map. Every once in a while, I will jump in with the voiceover to explain how I did something. Other than that, it'll be mostly just gameplay though. And if you need anything particular, check the video's chapters. I have set it up so that it will show you every ski pass, every event, every lift gap, any lift conquer. All of that stuff will be shown in the chapters. Although there are a few things like certain ski passes I don't have a chapter for because they're just really easy to get to. It's like the entire thing is you just have to go to a place and pick it up. But other than that, there will be chapters for everything in this video, so feel free to check that out and go to anywhere you might need to go. This next section, I will show you every event and the double diamond route for that event. I will only really be explaining things if it's like how to do good tricks or like simple concepts that you might need to understand. If you're like struggling on a trick level or like parachute, something like that, I'll jump in and explain that. Other than that, I'll just be showing the videos of every single double diamond route. This event is really simple as long as you understand that you gain speed when you do tricks. So you see here, I did a 360 there, I gained some speed. You want to do that on any jump you can, but try not to gain too much height because you obviously accelerate more while you're on the ground. The most important thing to understand for trick levels is getting combos where you do multiple tricks in one jump. Like you can see here, I do part of a trick and then I switch to a different trick and I got a 2 times multiplier there. I'll show you I'll link a good video in the description for how to do tricks. It was designed for Grand Mountain Adventure 1, but it does still apply to this game too. For distance challenges like this one, you want to be able to understand that if you pull your 2 sticks to the outside of your screen, like you can see how I did with my little mittens on the screen there, you actually glide farther when you jump. So that's how you want to get as much distance as possible for challenges like these. Parachute challenges are relatively simple. I find it personally the easiest if you just try to spend as long on the ground as possible and just nosedive straight into the ground after every jump. For this challenge specifically, it is best to do that. I think there are others where you don't necessarily want to do that because it'll actually end up being slower or it's like a more difficult route. But you can see here, I pretty much just dive straight into the ground on every single one, and that's how I got it fast enough. There is a shortcut on this one. You'll see my ghost take it in a second here. It goes off to the left there and then jumps over that bridge. It is pretty much the same speed. It might be slightly faster. You can try it if you'd like. It doesn't really make that much of a difference for double diamond. But if you're trying to like grind for a really good time, that might be faster. I'm not 100% positive. This event right here is probably the hardest one on this map just because of how far you have to get away from the start. Basically, you just need to get to the other side of the map. And in order to do that, I use a trick called presses, where if you basically jump on flat ground and pull straight down on the sticks, you'll land with only the back part of your snowboard on the ground, or skis if you're using skis too, it works the same way. And that basically you get a small speed boost, like a trick boost, but it's like a really simple way to do it on flat ground. You don't need to do like a big 360 or anything like that. This next section will be going over every trial. Make sure to let go of the second balloon relatively soon so you get flung farther here, and then also glide as far as you can. This section will be showing you every single ring round on this map. Next up here is all ski passes. I showed them all on the map earlier if you need to see the locations for them. And like I said earlier too, I'm not going to go over every single one in this video because a lot of them are basically just placed somewhere and you have to go pick them up. And that's really all there is to it. But stuff like this one where you need to get onto a roof, anything like that, I'll explain. Speaking of which, this one has two methods to get onto this roof. You can either go like I did there, or if you back up a little bit, there's a little tree that's right to the right of this house, and you can use that to grind up onto the roof. I personally think it's easier to go from the other roof instead, though. This pass is on an island, and you actually cannot get up to this island, at least not easily, without doing this jump here. You jump from this little spot to this ramp here, and I don't show it right here because I actually show it later with the transition section of the video because there is a transition to go from those two gaps. If you are looking for that one specifically, search for the island gap chapter in this video, and that will show you how to do the jump. For this one, you want to try to jump onto this tree. Sometimes if you like don't jump onto them, you'll lose a little bit of speed. And then you see I slide off the back there, but if the ski pass is there, you'll pick it up. Don't worry about it. These little wooden platforms here are trampolines. If you jump while on them, you will get launched into the air. On that second one, you want to make sure that you mash jump in the air, and that way you will be able to jump earlier, because if you don't mash in the air, sometimes you'll just slide off the roof and you won't be able to jump in time to get up there. If you ever need to stay on a rock slope like this for a long time, if you mash jump, you won't die because it's too rough, because it'll reset the timer of how long you've been on the rough surface. This challenge here is a lot easier as long as you go from the right side of this jump. I'm going to show a few clips here to demonstrate this, but when I go from this direction, like you see here, I go to the wrong way. I go like more to the left, I go the wrong way, but then I go more from the right here, and I can get closer to it. Also, you want to let go of that swing really early, because otherwise you'll get too much height and you'll go over top of the ski pass. This next part of the video will show you every single lift conquer, which means to go from the top to the bottom as fast as possible. Some of them are kind of finicky, and I will explain which ones are when I get to those parts. But most of the time, it's pretty straightforward. Just follow the route that I use and try to go relatively fast, because that's basically the two criteria for if it'll count or not, is how fast you're going and how accurate the trail is. This is one of the more finicky ones. Sometimes for whatever reason, it just doesn't count and it doesn't really ever, I don't really understand why. I'm assuming this is a bug and it'll probably be fixed later. So you might not have this problem, but for now, if you have this problem, just keep trying. You'll get it eventually. This next section is every lift gap. On this one, you want to make sure that you glide for as long as possible and also try to jump towards the right so you go over top of the two sides like you see I do in this clip here, and then it'll count. For this gap, try to hit the right side of this jump. You can see there, I get it. If you're on the left, you don't get enough height for it. Other than that, it's pretty easy. Emsberg lift does not really have a good jump near it, so we actually use the winch here instead. And you want to go straight to the left immediately and then let go right about there and then enter a glide. This one is incredibly finicky. You just have to hit this jump at the perfect angle and then go over top of it. You can see it take me a few tries here. Also, if you hit the little chair, it'll bump you up a little bit, which does help. I don't know if you need to do that, but that does help. This one has two possible jumps you can use to gap it. The second one is a lot easier, but this first one does work too. It's just less consistent. This final lift gap here, you want to get enough speed, so go to the back by this flag first, and then turn around and come back. You do need to thread the needle through this little gap here between this rail and the ski lift, and then try to jump to the right. Next up here is all transitions. For Emsberg stair gap, you do need to land on the rail, which you'll see in a minute. After this jump, you need to land on one of the 3 rails on this staircase. All 3 of them work. I hit the right one here. For this one, you do need to grind this full rail here. You do need to grind all of it, otherwise it will not count. This one you do also need to grind the full rail for it to count, although it does, you'll see when I do it here, it counts a little bit before the end, but you still need to grind most of it. For this one, as long as you go between these 2 trees here, like you'll see here, it doesn't work. But when I go at it again, I go through the trees and it'll count. This one is pretty difficult. You need to jump from this flag here, land on the rail, and then grind the rail the rest of the way to the end. This one, you just have to grind this rail here. Pretty simple. For this one, you have to land on the tree that's on top of this car, not just the car. This transition, once again, does require you to land on the tree. You can land on any of these trees that are down here. They all work. I'll show another clip of me hitting the one on the right. On this one, try to go off of the right side of this tree in order to get onto the box here. You can see that side, I went a little bit more to the right and it worked. This one is pretty difficult. You have to grind off of this tree and then land on this rail here. Otherwise, it will not count. You have to land on the rail. This one was really finicky for me. It just wouldn't count a lot of the time. But if you do it slowly and do it the exact way that I do in the video, it should work fine. For this one, once again, you have to land on the tree that's on its side here. For this one, you have to land on the small square roof here. This one did not show up very well in the video because I kind of go off the edge of it, but you just need to land on this small section of snow there that's a little bit raised. This one here is pretty difficult just because it's hard to see where you need to land. That rail there on the right side, you want to land on this rail, grind it, and then jump off the end over the other rail in the back. I show it again here just so you can make sure you understand. You need to land on the rail, jump over the one in the back. On this one, I kind of missed the landing a little bit, but it did still count. But you want to go a little bit more to the left than I do here and land on that little landing there. For this one, you just need to grind this entire rail. This one, again, land on the rail. This here is the last transition, and while you're watching this, I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, join the Grand Mountain Adventure Discord. There are plenty of people there who are willing to help you out, or just ask in the comments. I might be able to respond myself. And also, I will be making tutorials for the other mountains soon, so stay tuned for those. Make sure to subscribe so you can see them when they come out. Thanks for watching this video, guys. See ya.